Serve your red wines at room temperature and your white wines chilled. You've probably heard that before, right? But has anyone really told you what the proper serving temperatures for wine should be? Well, in this video, you're going to find out. Before we jump into this video, I want to define a term that a lot of people take for granted and don't really think about, and that's room temperature for wine. The average person thinks that this is between 68 and 72 degrees Fahrenheit. So it would be natural to think that this bottle of red wine sitting right here would be fine being served just the way it is. And if this is the way you enjoy wine, then more power to you. But I'm assuming since you're watching this video, you're looking for more information. Well, as it turns out, the British were the ones who coined the phrase room temperature, and they were referring to the temperature of a passive wine cellar. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, a passive wine cellar is a room that is dug into the ground at a depth of at least 10 feet. At that depth, the temperature doesn't fluctuate more than a few degrees either way, and that temperature usually hovers around 60 degrees. That is why underground cellars are the ideal place to store wine. The cool temperatures are pretty consistent all day long, it's dark, and the humidity levels are higher. So when the Brits say room temperature, they really mean 60 to 62 degrees. So does that mean we've been drinking our red wines too warm all this time? In a nutshell, yes. And white wines are supposed to be served slightly chilled from room temperature. Chilled does not mean refrigerator temperature. That's around 38 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, in case you're wondering. Slightly chilled means somewhere around 48 to 52 degrees. So are you saying we serve our white wines too cold? In a nutshell, yes. Okay, now that we've established the fact that we tend to serve our white wines too cold and our red wines too warm, let's look at why we should be drinking our wines to the temps I recommended. First, with white wines, when served at refrigerator temperature, the wine becomes too cold to show any real aromatics, and the colder temperatures numb the palate, so you don't really taste much either. When served at the higher temps that I recommended, not only are the aromatic components more evident, but the flavor components are too. In other words, the wine will smell and taste better. What's not to like about that? With red wines, it's a little different. At the typical room temperature of, say, 70 degrees, a couple of things are evident. First, the tannins will come across as softer. And secondly, the alcohol will seem higher. Again, if you like that kind of thing, keep on doing what you're doing. But if you really are interested in showing a red wine in its best light, serve it cooler. The tannin I spoke of earlier will be more evident, and the alcohol will not overwhelm. I think it makes for a much more pleasurable drinking experience all the way around. So the next question you probably have is, how do I get my wine to the proper serving temperature? And the answer is easy. For white wines, throw the wine in the fridge for about an hour or so. The reds for about 30 minutes. And you can experiment with this. You might find that keeping the wine in the fridge for a touch longer or less is more your style. Well, that was simple. Now, if anyone asks you about proper serving temperatures for wine, you'll know that answer. Thanks for joining me. If you have some ideas about wine serving temperatures you'd like to share, feel free to type your comments in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you. Now, if you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll press the like icon, and if you'd like to see more videos just like this, I hope you'll press subscribe. Until next time, peace out.